It's the Chioma chat.
I grew up in a very strict Nigerian household where everybody wants you to do doctor, lawyer, scientist, engineer. Like they want you. I wanted to be a host on Catfish.
Yeah, me too.
They might get to take 2 new hosts.
So how do you deal with hate comments?
Yeah, it can go one of 2 ways. A lot of them I'm like, this is actually it's so dumb, I have to laugh.
Black people, we add S's to grocery stores. Like, I'm going to Kroger's.
Yes.
Like, I'm going to Myers. Like, y'all, there's no S. How was it growing up in like an African household?
It was strict. You got disciplined for bad grades. If your report card does not say ba 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 or it better not even say anything C and below, discipline.
Let's talk about it, baby.
It's your girl, Taylor Patrice, and welcome to another episode of Let's Talk About It, Baby. Let's Talk About It, a place where we talk about the foolery that goes on the www. That's right, the World Wide Web. And today, we have a lot to unpack here, and clearly, we have a special guest. Hold on, wait, I've been practicing for this one. It's the Chioma chat. Chioma.
That's a classic.
No, listen, I literally was practicing before you got here, and I was like, oh shit, Chioma chat. And I was like, where's my rhythm at? That's a tongue twister.
People have been asking me to bring that intro back, so I might have to hit the studio and make it official.
Make it a whole like rap.
People been asking. I'm like, it's not a bad idea.
It's not.
Open to it.
It's on brand. But how are you?
I'm doing really good. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming.
I really appreciate it. Y'all don't know, but Taylor and I go way in the back.
We're going to put the picture on the screen.
Yeah, we definitely will. I'll definitely send it. Don't come for us, though. It's a long time ago.
Yeah, I had on my grandma wig. It's cool.
And I don't know what I had on that day, but whatever. But we go really back. And, just as influencers, content creators, it's just kind of been a struggle, but also highs and lows. And the one thing I will say, like, I don't keep as many influencer friends for many different reasons, but you and I have just been tapped in for a long time. So she's one of the people that have always been around and always been supportive. So thank you.
No, thank you. I think I found your channel. I don't remember because we were in college, but like I remember that you went to Toledo, and I was like, oh my gosh, somebody else in Ohio, because that wasn't common then.
At all, yeah.
Like nobody was doing YouTube content creation, like wasn't a thing. So how did you get to Toledo?
That's a good one. Honestly, I was always the girl who wanted to go to like the big college and get the big college experience because yes, I am originally from Philly, but we lived in a city called York, Pennsylvania, which is about, let's say, an hour, maybe 2 hours tops, maybe not full 2 hours outside of Philly. Okay. And, it was very white, wasn't really diverse, didn't have much to do. So I'm like, the only way I'm going to get out of here is if I go to college and I do it for real. Okay. So coming out of high school, I didn't really know what I wanted to do at all. Like, I couldn't pinpoint it, and it could have been where I was growing up at without having like the opportunities or just options to know what's out there. But then also just I grew up in a very strict Nigerian household where everybody wants you to do doctor, lawyer, scientist, engineer. Like they want you to do everything. But I'm an arts person. I'm a creative person. So I remember my parents telling us that we were going to move to Ohio when I was like in 10th grade. We came all the way to Dayton, toured like 5 different schools. I'm thinking I was about to be the new girl. But then they just said, let's hold off until they graduate. So my dad ended up moving, and then he was like, we'll pick a school in Ohio because this is where we're going to be. Okay. So I think I Googled online best schools in Ohio. And then at the time I wanted to be a business major, but my parents were more like pharmacy. And I'm just like, and I was a little bit too obedient back then. Now I'd probably challenge them and say, no, I'm not doing that. Right. But I typed in like best schools in Ohio, pharmacy program, University of Toledo came up. I looked through it. I was like, it looks pretty diverse. It's in Ohio. We were like, let's go to the tour. I went on the tour. I'm not going to lie, I probably went to the school for all the wrong reasons. But that's how I ended up here. And I was just like, the tour happened to be like on a Thursday. Like college, like Thursday's the real Friday. So we go, and I'm like, oh, boys, good food, it's lit. It's people going, like, it was just like the best day for me to tour. And it was a warm day too for the fall. So I said, all right, well, this is the school. And I really only applied to like 2 schools coming out of high school, which is crazy. I would never advise anyone to do that. Like, broaden your horizons. But I ended up just choosing that one over University of Dayton, which is where I live now. Okay. Yeah. I got a really good scholarship from them because my grades were always great in high school. But in terms of the liveliness of the campus, I was like, okay, Toledo over Dayton. So that's how I ended up there. It's a private Catholic school. Yeah. Right. And I grew up very Catholic, but I was just like, I want to do college. I don't want to do Catholic right now.
I went to Catholic high school, actually. Okay. So we were in there like, let us break the bread and drink everything. Okay. Okay, so how did you get into vlogging?
Okay. With vlogging, honestly, when, like I said, like just being in a small town, nothing to do. All I could do was go online. I was an internet junkie. I had Tumblr, Twitter, Facebook, everything that you could think of. And I was really like a big Tumblr blogger person. Not like I had a lot of followers, but I just was so into it. And so I would always like see different creative ideas and very artsy ideas. And then also YouTube, because YouTube was really coming up. And I think vlogging at the time was really popular, but then it had like that sector of college vloggers. So all the college vloggers, which was the main thing I knew, like, I just need to get to college to escape this.
Wait, who was your favorite?
I liked all of them. I loved Jayla Corian. I watched her so much. I watched Raven Elise. There was the girl, I think her name was Amber Martin. Yes, I watched her too. Yes, and I think she went to Howard. I could be wrong. But I watched everybody. If you had a college vlog, especially with the ones that were going to HBCUs, because originally I wanted to go to Howard University so bad. That was like my #1 school. That never happened. That never happened. It was like one of those things I just had to let go. But I'm like, yeah, I really want the HBCU experience. I'm in this small, very non-diverse white city. I want to go to college. So I would watch all of theirs. And I was like, when I get to college, I'm going to do the same. So I had watched them for like 2 years before I ever even got to college. And then once I got there, I'm like, okay, let's start picking this up. So my channel kind of started at the end of my senior year of high school into summer. Then by that time, I had kind of built it up a little bit to start the college vlogs.
Wow. I do remember watching your college vlog. So it's so much... It was so funny because our experience was like completely different. So you went to Toledo, and I felt like you made Toledo look lit. You know what I'm saying?
Definitely. People tell me that to this
day.
Like
you did. I'm like, okay. I went to Saginaw Valley in Michigan. That's where I started. And then I don't know. I didn't really have any friends, and I was just kind of like trying to find my way. I also played volleyball. Okay. And obviously, like, it wasn't no TikTok or nothing, so there wasn't like a student athlete type of thing. Right. So my college vlogs was kind of like a little bit of that. And then I joined Canvas Ministry. And not that there's nothing wrong, but literally I just felt like my vlogs were so boring compared to everybody else's.
I feel like I've been there before. Because I had a girl that works with my modeling agency. She went there.
Oh, is it Saginaw?
Yeah, she went there.
Don't ever go back.
Yeah, I would never.
Don't ever go back.
But I definitely think the campus is way different than Toledo. I mean, just starting off, Toledo was like a D1 school. Yeah. And I didn't know any of this when I was coming. I just chose the school for, like I said, all the wrong reasons. Then I got there, I'm like, oh, they're big in sports, or they have a really good program for pharmacy or business or whatever. And it was like a good, decent Black population, probably because we're so close to Detroit, in that like Michigan state line. And I think that's what made it like the vlogs what they were, because I had a lot of different characters, throughout the years. And I think also I started doing it at a time where it was still very popular. So a lot of people watched and tuned in. And now I've been back to my campus a few times. Like I went back this year for a fashion show that I was helping with. And like people still approach me and be like, oh, you're the YouTube girl. I'm like, I don't go here no more. But yeah, that was me. Wow. Almost 10 years ago, that was me. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, because you graduated high school in 2015.
Yes.
Okay, I graduated in 14.
Okay.
Okay, I know that's right. Period. All right, so we're going to play a little game.
I'm ready for it.
Okay, this is called Let's Talk About It, Baby. And basically, you just going to try to guess the foolery on these cards.
Okay.
She rubbed her hands together.
White Birdman.
Okay, the theme is candy for this game.
So my guilty pleasures.
Period.
Okay.
I feel like they're easy this time,
Let's
so we'll see.
Okay, it says Hershey Sis. Oh, Hershey Kiss.
Yes.
Okay. At first I was like, wait, huh?
Okay. Let's get the next one.
Put this one
yeah,
aside.
that's fine.
Okay.
And you're really smart, so it's like I couldn't think of nothing hard for her. I'm sitting here thinking.
Laugh Feet Taffy. Laffy Taffy.
Okay. Yeah,
I don't really like Laffy Taffies though.
Yeah, they're not really that good.
I've heard people say they like banana Laffy Taffies.
I
said you're a good one. I'm never doing that.
I got to side you if you like the banana Laffy Taffy.
I'll stick with my gummy candies. This is Mice Hands at Keys. Mice Hands. Hold on, we got a stumper.
Oh, okay. There we go.
Mice Hands. I'm trying to think. Mice Hands. Maybe I'm saying it wrong. Oh, is it Mike and Ike?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm like, I don't know what candy that is. I was saying it all wrong.
No, you're good.
Okay, last one. Okay, this one says, sew your pack skids. Sew your pack skids. Oh, Sour Patch Kids.
There you go.
You see, crazy thing is I don't really eat any of these.
Okay, so what's your favorite candy?
I am a Lifesaver gummies person, fanatic. I'm a gummy fanatic in my opinion. I would go to a gummy convention if they had one.
I am a gummy girl too.
Yeah.
I do like a sour candy though.
See, I'm actually not a sweets person.
Okay.
But I think I would still choose sweet over sour, just for some reason.
Okay, so you like all of the Lifesavers?
I like the neons. I believe that's my favorite one. But I am allergic to strawberries, so I don't eat anything strawberry. Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's the one thing that just, I don't know. I'm not going to check out or anything, but I'll definitely break out.
Okay. So you don't need like the EpiPen type.
No, definitely not that. But
okay.
You'll just have like a bodily reaction.
Okay. Well, you did good. Look, I knew it was easy. You know, she always talking about her degree on her YouTube.
I'm going to pop it. I worked hard.
I know that's
hard.
Right. I'll be like, she's so smart. You know who you remind me of a little bit? Wendy.
I love Wendy.
You know who I'm talking about? Like, not Wendy.
Wendy
like,
from Real Housewives?
Yes.
I get that.
You remind me of her. Like, anytime I watch it, I'll be like, oh my gosh, it's so Chioma. Like,
I've never watched Real Housewives. I know like some of the people, but I've never just sat and watched it. Because I didn't know like where to start or what season to go with. I don't know. Y'all could tell me where to start at. But I love reality TV.
Yeah, I know, because you be watching baddies.
I stopped watching baddies, but I still watch Love is Blind, Love Island, like everything.
Yeah, I can't get into baddies. It was just too like, okay. So one of the things that I like about reality TV is the production of it. Like, I just like how things are filmed.
Yes,
so
same.
I feel like baddies is just very low quality. Like, I feel like it's giving I can do that. You know what I'm saying?
And that's why there's so many people that have done it. They'll get an Airbnb, rent it out for a week, put a whole bunch of people in the house and film.
Yeah.
I mean, it started on like what? Blueface's OnlyFans, Blue Girls Club.
Oh,
because he realized, hey, I could just do it.
Yeah, like it's not intriguing, but that stuff that be on Real Housewives, I can't do that. It's a little bit professional. I'm not there yet.
Right. Because they have like, I mean, baddies, I'm not gonna lie, Zeus Network, you guys have definitely stepped it up.
They have.
I'm gonna y'all. But I just feel like when you think about the actual editing, a lot of it is just, I don't know, it's giving vlog style.
Yeah, it's and you know who does a good job at like implementing the vlog, but then it also looking like legit? Catfish.
I will definitely get, you know, I wanted to be a host on Catfish.
Yeah, me too.
I feel like we should apply together.
Yeah, because Cammy's no longer
exactly.
there. Yeah, we should.
They need a new host. They might get to take 2 new hosts. I think we can do it. We already have the online aspect.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? I'd be like, Neve, I can cut somebody out too, you know?
I'm just there for the confrontation and to ask questions.
And be like, because what the hell? Why the hell would you do
I'm
this?
like, so why did you lie?
I know, that's right. Okay, so speaking of like videos and stuff, what video made you go viral?
Okay.
What was your first viral video?
I think that's a good one. The first viral video honestly may have been my first college vlog.
Okay.
Because that video to this day definitely has like well over 100,000 views. And I know it picked up really fast at that time. And I think I dropped the next one like maybe a few weeks later, and that one also did really well. So that kind of put me on. Then a few, maybe months, I don't even know if it was months, maybe the next year, I did another one. It was a story time about this hairstylist that messed up my hair. It was so bad.
That was a start. That was before these TikTok.
Yeah, that was before the TikTok. This is really even like, you could say during Snapchat, but before Snapchat was at its peak. I know it's like kind of down now, but like even before Snapchat hit its peak. But that video did really well. And then like more recent years, I did one 2 summers ago called Why Does Everyone Look the Same?
Okay.
And it was just about like how you see a lot of girls these days and everybody has the same wig, the same nails, the same makeup style, the same clothes, the same lip filler, the same everything. And that video got over 500,000 views. And I feel like that kind of put me back into the groove, I guess the algorithm on YouTube. Yeah.
Wow. So you was just going viral.
I have gone viral for sure, but I don't think it's as common as I would probably hope for, or other people would even expect when they watch my channel, because YouTube has its own little things. So.
Yeah, we're going to get into that because I want to talk to you about that. Okay, so you were just talking about like how everybody looked the same and you did that video. Do you feel like that's what started kind of like your commentary type of video?
I think it was my blackfishing video, actually.
Okay.
That was like 2018 when I first started commentary. And I think that was really popular at the time because nobody had ever heard about that term. And it was kind of shocking that people were essentially doing modern day blackface. And I just remember it being such a viral topic. I hopped on it along with a lot of other commentators. And I think that video, because I had like a series, I was almost like I'm calling you out, you out, you out.
Okay.
And then making it educational, but also entertaining. I think that video really was like, okay, I'm a commentator now.
Okay, so you were like one of the first that was like really.
I would say so, yeah.
Yeah.
It was a few people. I love the channel Chrissy. She talks a lot about colorism, and that was one thing that she talked about. And there were other channels as well, but I definitely was on that topic.
Okay.
Sure.
Because I remember like when I first started seeing your commentary videos, I was like, oh, her videos are different than like these T channels. You remember like when T channels were like,
yes, I remember. That was a whole era.
What was that one called? Do you remember? It was like the main one.
It was like a fake voice.
Yeah.
It was like all tea, all shade.
Oh yeah, that's what it was.
And then they went like, I guess you could say they went mute for a long time. Yeah. And I know they came back, but I don't know if they're still like really actively.
Yes, all tea, all shade.
They were it. I used to watch
them too. That is so funny.
I was like, let me figure out what's going on. Now, how you getting all this information? But
exactly. Like the Chris and Queen, and when they had that. What was that lady's name that like kind of managed all of them?
I don't remember her name, but I know who you're talking about.
And she had them in that house, and they was all standing there like with Lala. Yeah,
I was just thinking about that video the other day because I did a video on Chris, and I was like, I remember when they did that. Like, why did y'all do that?
Yeah, it was so random.
Yeah, it was so set up,
and I was like, this is crazy, and just to kind of like see where they are now is very interesting.
There's a lot of change. Yeah,
I know you just did a video on Chris.
Yes, definitely.
Can we get a video like the downfall of like Chris?
I would love to. I honestly would love to do like a downfall because I have done like how influencer culture, content creation has changed. But I might have to start a series of downfall of this person, that person, because those videos do really well on YouTube. I'll be watching them, like,
and I just
sit back and enjoy.
Yeah, I just saw one of what's her name, Alyssa Forever.
Yes, I used to watch her so much.
She's so creative. Like she was before her time, like 110%.
And yeah, she was definitely in that like 1% that was what they were doing back then was really above the bar.
Yeah, for sure. It looks like she's like starting to get her life back on track, so that's really good. But I just watched and sat there and went down a deep rabbit hole of like, so what happened to Alyssa Forever?
I do that a lot too. I'm like, oh, I remember you. I watched her video when she came out, kind of saying like where she had been, but I don't know if I've ever seen an update since then because that was a while ago.
Was it the one where she was like outside or the one when she was like in the hotel?
I think she was in the hotel.
Okay, so at that point she had moved back to like Indiana, I think.
Okay. And she's from Indiana. Midwest girl.
Yeah, but I didn't even know that until like I watched this video.
Right.
But
wow. I would definitely want to like look at some of these like OG creators, because I feel like they set the standard for what YouTube was at a time. And although like I can see the positives in some of the changes, I just feel like I can also see like where things have definitely gone left. And it just makes it a lot less appealing, I think, for people that have been on here for a while.
What do you mean by that?
I would say like the gimmicks of what makes you go viral or get engagement versus like just being authentic. Like, you know, I just did a video about a week or so ago and I was just like ranting, not even expecting the video to do anything. I was like, okay, the people that care are going to watch this. The video is almost at 100,000 views. And I'm like, girl. All I was doing was ranting about how YouTube used to be like this. And I feel like I deserve this. And, you know, some people are like, oh, you're jealous or you're entitled. I'm like, I promise you, I'm not jealous of anybody or entitled. I just kind of feel like if you work at something for this long, a platform should at least give you the respect to maintain you and not dip you down, especially if you've been showing that you've been trying. But they will sit here and push up a certain look of a person or somebody with certain connections way faster. I've seen people get to 100,000 subscribers in months. Yeah. It took me years. Years to get there. I just hit 250K this year. Yeah. And that's 10 years in. So it is a little bit like, I mean, anybody would look at it and be like, huh? Or what's going on? Or just questioning themselves. And I feel like I eventually got to that point. So I get where a lot of the OG girls or guys too are coming from. And then sometimes you look at their channels and you're like, wow, like people don't really watch them as much anymore. Or what happened? And some of them have been going. Some of them took a break. I don't know. It's just kind of up to it. But I do think YouTube is definitely at fault.
Yeah. I think it's like kind of like a combination of like social media, I guess, evolving in general and just like what people like to watch and people not being able to adapt as well. Not necessarily you, but just like, let's say like some people that did like story times back in the day where they would just sit there and put the camera up and there's like no effort. Now people kind of want to be entertained. So it's like if you're still going to create content like that, then you kind of got to adapt with the time. Like you can't, I mean, I guess you can just sit the camera up, but you know, like making it more
cinematic, I guess.
Yeah, or just like engaging. Yeah, I would say
because our attention spans are so much different. Yeah, like I feel like even with vlogs, like people used to just sit and watch an hour-long vlog, whatever it was. We just want to see your life versus my life. Yeah. Nowadays, like it depends on who you are if I can get through your whole vlog. Yeah, for sure.
Or what you're doing.
Or even if it's even like appealing to me. Because there's so many different sectors of social media. Like you said, it's changed so much. Yeah.
That's crazy. Who do you watch? Like vlogger?
I feel like I don't really watch. Like I create a vlog channel just so I could do my vlogs, but then try to find people that I want to watch. So I'm still in that. Let me find the people that resonate with me. Because I feel like I'm in a very like gray area right now with like not only my brand but my life. So like I plan on moving, but then I also want to career change, but I also want to kind of do what I'm doing. Like there has to be somebody out there that feels how I feel. Yeah. So,
I feel like that's like another factor of like what you were just talking about. Not only is social media changing, but then it's like you're changing and you're evolving. So you're trying to figure things out. And sometimes you just can't give the content that goes with that. Like I feel like we've kind of seen a shift with like, for example, Jayla Corian. She just made a big switch. Yeah. She does social media for a company. I'm not sure yet. I think I kind of figured out who she works with, but like that's something that's big. I know she's been trying to figure that out, entering into her 30s.
Right. And so, I get that for sure. Cause I know she was also doing like real estate and I feel like that was a really good move for her. Especially just the experience that she probably has with talking to people and branding and selling things, marketing. But I get why there's like a big shift. And I hate when I used to read either comments or I'm not going to lie, I used to just read blog pages of what people are saying. And people are like, oh, well, this girl can't figure this out. She's doing this and she's doing that, hoping something sticks. I think that's what life is about. Like you can't get too comfortable. And with being an influencer or content creator, sometimes it's a lot of plateauing that happens and before you raise up and then you plateau again. So I've been trying to figure that out for sure. Yeah. Because it's getting to me the older I get. And I'm at 27, I'm just like, okay, you're not 30 yet, but you're definitely not 21. You're not 25. You're in that area of you got to kind of start to figure it out. And that's no pressure to anyone, because I know like life, you could get a new career at 40. But I think with being in Gen Z, for myself, like I think we put a lot of pressure on ourselves to just have it together. Like we don't just kind of coast. I mean, maybe we coast through life in a way, but I guess the upper end of Gen Z, we kind of put a lot more pressure on ourselves because we see the millennials, but then we also see like the kids that are younger than us, and like they have a lot more opportunities because of social media, and it's just that gray area for sure.
Yeah, it's weird, and it's changed a lot. What do you feel like was the downfall of, I guess, YouTube? I'm just gonna say the downfall of the influencer, because you just did a video. It's funny because I just did a video yesterday, and I talked about it just a little bit. So what do you feel like?
I think there's many things.
It's a whole bunch.
But I would probably say the downfall was the oversaturation, and also the platforms giving a lot of push or credit to trends versus like longevity. Because trends are going to be viral all the time. Like something is going to be popular this week, and then a month later, it's a whole other thing. And people hop onto it and they go viral. Now they think they're somebody. Not saying that they're not, but like now they think like, oh, this set or series of videos are doing really well. I'm an influencer now. Let me start doing this. Let me quit my job. Don't do that. Don't do that.
Right.
And then you realize like, oh, okay, you were just a part of the trend. But because the algorithm or the platform pushed you, now you feel like, okay, well, where's it at? And then in terms of the saturation, I think after pandemic, after shutdown, or some
TikTok.
TikTok. Some people say the
up.
pandemic is still going on, but after shutdown or lockdown, everybody was inside. Everybody was consuming, digital media, cell phone or laptop or TV. So then people started realizing I can make money from this. All these people that have been influencers, they make money, and they seemed kind of out of touch. But I think that pandemic let people know, like, we're a lot of us on the same playing ground. So people jumped into the industry. It became very oversaturated.
Celebrities.
TikTok. Yeah, celebrities also came into influencer culture because their money wasn't moneying anymore.
At all. Mind you, they were just talking shit.
Right.
Previously.
Prior to that, it was, oh, this blogger this, and you're just that, and you're miserable. I'll get a real job. As if we don't pay taxes.
Right.
I don't pay taxes. And then once they kind of joined in and they could bring like their followers and do that turnover into like that social media culture, I do think some of the people who are original or just have been on, it definitely changed some things.
Yeah. I agree. I agree 110%. I mean, 2020 changed the game. I think that there's a difference between a content creator and an influencer.
For sure.
And I think that people still don't even understand or grasp that concept, because going viral doesn't mean that you make money. Having a big following doesn't mean that it equals your bank account, at all. I think back in the day, having a bigger following did kind of equal that.
Yeah, because people were more inclined to like pay into it. Yeah.
And like these people had influence, right? They weren't just creating content that like went viral. They were just living their lives and filming it as they went on. But now you have people that just do things for clout, essentially, and it's like, oh, I just went viral, and it's like, honestly, I don't really think I have.
You have 30 minutes.
Right. I don't think I have had a video go super viral. I know for a fact I've never had a video hit 1 million across any platform. I know that. Maybe I had a video on YouTube hit like 100K. Maybe. Outside of that, like a roommate horror story.
Yeah, I think
because
so.
like
I
college,
remember watching it.
College, my roommate situation was just not ideal. Like each one, it was just like there was only one that stuck, but like outside of that,
sounds like my story.
Like I lived with like this crazy girl that said that she had ghosts in her room. Like, why would you even like? Why would you do that?
The Nigerian in me just wants to cast her away.
Okay, so like that was a whole situation, but yeah, I think that people got to understand that And once we can grasp that, then influencers, the real influencers, not the content creator. Not that there's anything wrong with being a content creator. There's just a difference. You can be a content creator and set up your camera and not have any influence.
Right.
If you're a gatekeeper, you have no influence.
That is very true.
Yes.
That is so true.
So how do you deal with hate comments?
Yeah, it can go one of two ways. Either I really do laugh at them. A lot of them I'm like, this is actually it's so dumb, I have to laugh. And some of the things I'm like on the other hand, some things I'm so passionate about that I will go back and forth with you. People just like, oh, ignore it. If 50 people are saying something crazy to you, you have a lot of strength, and I mean a lot of strength, to just ignore it, because that's not how everyone is set up, and I'm definitely not set up that way. I will go back and forth with you until I don't want to anymore. Some hate comments, I'm just like, it comes with the territory. Yeah, you got to take it for what it is. Especially when I started doing music, that's when they start really rolling in. Because I guess you can say like I talked a lot of shit prior to like ever dropping, and then when I like previewed some stuff, it was so split. People were like, oh yeah, I can see this happening, just keep working. And some people are like, you say all of this and yours is nowhere better. Then eventually I kept going, and I feel like a lot more people got on board. But overall with hate comments, I mean, I anticipate them because I know I do something that I can be deemed controversial. Some people are like, you're not controversial. I'm like, but overall it is kind of controversial to challenge the status quo or, public opinion. And I'm very thorough with my opinions on a lot of different things, and I'm very headstrong, and I stand in that, and people pick that up. So I think if you don't like it, or you just come across my channel and you don't know me, you just ran into a video and you hear something that you don't like and it's about your fave, you're going to say something crazy about me, and I'm going to be like, okay, like whatever. But it's just really 50-50. I don't think it sits with me more than the 5 minutes that I spend reading. Yeah.
I feel like I'm very grateful that my progress has been very slow, because God knew He had to work with me, because back in the day I just probably wouldn't have been able to handle it mentally, and so it's been a gradual process. But I have a video that I guess you could say is kind of going viral. It's like the video where I talk about how like Black people are growing up Black, they always say unthaw. Oh, you gotta unthaw, and it's like, y'all, that's not the word. The word is thaw. So I have a lot of people like, it was your mother, and your mother did this, and she must be dumb. And I'm like, actually, she has her PhD. Little do y'all know. So it's just like, oh my gosh,
I will pop it.
And I did a little bit. I did like a little bit. You know what I'm saying? But like, nonetheless, like all I said was, growing up Black, we do use language like this. Often. I think I did a video the other day talking about how it's you know the number by heart, not you know the number by hard. And a lot of people say, oh yeah, I memorized my number by heart. Like it's not
I never this is news. You didn't know that? I know, I'm saying, like, I always say by heart. So I didn't know that people would say, it's a lot of things I've heard. No, you're right. You're definitely right.
And they'd be like, oh yeah, I know her number by heart.
Or when people just say like Happy New Year's.
Oh yeah.
Like, it pisses me off because like it's not New Year's. It's one more year, just one.
Right.
Plural.
Or like, I haven't like dropped this video, but a video about how Black people, and I always say this, and it's because it's funny, y'all, because we do it all the time, but we add S's to grocery stores. Like, I'm going to Kroger's.
Yes.
Like, I'm going to Myers. Like, y'all, there's no S.
There's no S.
So
this reminds me of Cleopatra's whole series when she was doing like grammar and stuff. Then when I found out she was Nigerian, I'm like, oh, it makes sense.
Yes, it does make sense. Okay, so fun fact, like, I mean, we're still in the process of figuring it out, but my dad was adopted. And so when he got his test back, I mean, he is like 80% like Nigerian.
Really?
So it's funny because people, when I went to college, they were like, where are you from? And I'm like, Ohio. They're like, are you sure? Like, what do you mean, am I sure? Like, I'm from Ohio. But I guess that there's this other side. So if that is true, and he wants to take it to TikTok and try to, like, figure out. But if that's true, I mean, I guess I'm Nigerian.
I don't have a problem with it at all.
So
I don't have a problem.
It's funny because it's like, it kind of makes a lot of sense. I'd be like, oh, yeah, well.
See, but I've, like, grown up, like, with just my, I guess, Black American friends. And at times I'll be like, I think your lineage is African. Like, I'll say that. Like, I can see where you might be African at. And they're like, what do you mean? I'm just like, I just know.
Yes.
Or like, I remember in like high school, we had like a new girl in my French class. And before she opened her mouth for her name or nothing, I'm like, I know she's African. Yeah. And then when she told me she was like from Cameroon, I'm like, yeah, I knew. I just knew. Like, sometimes you just know.
That's hilarious.
It can be, I guess, slightly offensive to some people because it's like, what you trying to say? But like, if you make being African a negative connotation, then you'll be offended. But when you realize like some features or just some mannerisms really do equate to certain cultures, like it just is what it is.
Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, so no, before I do this, how was it growing up in like an African household?
It was strict.
Like that's really true. Like you can't do shit.
I didn't do anything. I remember my senior year, I was a cheerleader throughout middle school and high school. And every Wednesday we would have senior dinner for the girls, and everyone's like family or whatever would host a different one. I remember I went to like the first one or two. Yeah, I went to a white school. They had a good booster program.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like the first like one or two I think I went to. And after that, my SAT prep classes started. I didn't go to another one. I told my dad, why would you do it on the day that you know I have senior dinner? He did not care. I was at that SAT prep class. You got disciplined for bad grades. You got disciplined for bad behavior.
Wait, what is a bad grade though?
Anything below it. I would say if your report card does not say ba 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 or ah, it better not even say boo 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 boo. If it does not have that A in there, maybe you might can get away with a few like 2 B's. But anything C and below, discipline.
That is
lecture.
Oh my gosh.
Removal of stuff.
Interesting. So I grew up with like an older generation because my mom had me at 40. So when I was in middle school, she was very much so old. And she just didn't get it. So like I wouldn't say she was strict. I think she was trying to figure out like how to be strict.
Right.
But like knowing that she has a millennial, which really, like I'm a zillennial, I'm like the last year, it was just different. Like
I can see that.
Yeah, it was a really, high school, we did this a lot. Because it's like, I feel like she was going, not high school, middle school, I feel like she was going through menopause and I was going through puberty.
Ooh.
So it was like.
That's a good little clash.
So, yeah, like it wasn't like too strict. And I was a student athlete, so that kind of dropped my grades like a little bit.
And I can see that happening.
Yeah.
Because even so, like I feel like in a Nigerian household, if you are participating in something, as soon as your grades drop, you could be the best on the team. Your parents not gonna let you go out there.
Yeah, your parents wouldn't have let me play.
I feel like we did stuff in school just because we kept our grades up, but outside of school, like I never was in a club sport or anything like that. Which is something that I feel like when I have children, I want to invest into their extracurriculars because I see how good it is on a child. But for me, I remember I did like gymnastics for like 3 months. I'm like working on like level 3 or 4 skills. And then my mom just said, yeah, you're not going back. And I just didn't go back ever. Yeah. And I think it's because I was probably getting in trouble at school or something like that. Like everything came with a cost. I think as an adult, I look back, I'm like, okay, it did shape me. It definitely prepared me for the harsh realities of the real world. But in the moment, like you said, it was it was bad.
Yeah,
for sure.
It probably like sucks too because you're creative. Like, right. So yeah, I can see that.
And I think with my college, just going into college, I literally never wanted to be a pharmacy major. Never. I only agreed to it because my parents told me, like, you need to do something that's lucrative and that's going to make money. And, you know, pharmacy, I'm like, but I've never been good at science. So why am I doing pharmacy? My little sister is very good at that. She has a degree in biomedical sciences.
Oh, wow.
My brother has a degree in engineering, mechanical engineering. He's an engineer. I'm the artsy, creative, camera, pictures, fashion, reading, writing, talking person. But then I never went to college for that initially. I had to change my major 3 times to get to communications.
Okay.
Because I was following that strict guideline of what my culture set for me versus what makes sense for myself. So I even tell people now, I don't care who you are. You don't let nobody choose your major. No, never let that happen.
You got to figure it out for yourself. 100%. Because I was trying to figure things out, and I don't think that my mom really understood that I was artsy, and I never thought that I was like artsy or creative because I was never good at art.
Right.
And like that was the only thing that was presented as like being creative.
Right.
And like, well, I'm barely pulling a B out of this damn class. Like, maybe I'm not creative, but I did always have a camera at a very young age. You know, I'm filming everything like 6th grade before like that was a thing. And my mom was like, what? I remember one time I got in trouble, like, for taking pictures at church. Now, like, churches are streaming. But, like, I really, like, my mom took me out. We went home. She made me get the switch, like, all that for taking a picture.
At church.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
I was supposed to be praising the Lord. So.
I mean, that's, like you said, that's the contract because churches are streaming. Churches have social media. Everybody has a social media to promote a whole bunch of stuff. Like, even the church I attend, I go to physical church on Sundays, but, like, I still will tune into a stream, and I love it. So it's like, it might be a generational thing with that one.
Well, yeah. Well, it didn't exist back then.
Yeah,
though.
It definitely didn't.
You know, we still had the hymns, like, in front of
pamphlets
you.
And booklets.
Like, that's not a thing. We just have screens now. So, like, she just didn't understand. Like, I didn't understand either, but I started to like really sit with myself and learn myself. And the gag is, drum roll, I don't even have my degree.
Really?
I literally have 2 classes left. I went to school for early childhood education because that's what I was good at. I've always been good at like teaching kids, teaching in general. But I wasn't sure how I can mesh that creatively. And so I got to a class. It was called Education and Democracy. I'll never forget. So we're there, and basically they're just telling me, like, you can't be on social media. And, like, that was enough for me. I'm like, okay.
Well, what do they mean by that?
Just, like, all of the different cases of, like, teachers getting in trouble for like showing alcohol in their pictures or just whatever. Okay. And again, this is before COVID. So it's like, damn, but like my life is on social media. I'm a college vlogger. That's kind of when I started to go through the transition of like hiding my videos and how am I going to be a teacher, but then like still be a person. Like I'm not this 24/7.
Right.
And so that's kind of why it stopped. And I just didn't graduate because I was like, well, what the hell?
That's really crazy because I feel like coming out of high school, I know there was like a challenge for, I was in the journalism program in high school, and we had to go through loops to get a social media because they felt like students, school, media, but like I still follow the page. It's really big today. And even I follow my high school cheer coach, which was my English teacher and journalism teacher. And she has a life, you know, she's also, I think there really is a shift because I remember growing up, childhood, you know, education and those who teach it, they definitely either didn't have social media or were private. Yeah. But I found some of my teachers from like elementary school, like eventually I'll find them on, I'm like, now you do. That makes, which is so crazy because I just feel like social media is an outlet that really does teach, whether it's science, math, whatever, but it teaches period. So I would think it would be an essential tool for a teacher. I get like the whole personal aspect, but
I don't think it's like as big of a problem, but I have still seen some cases where teachers get backlash for like posting certain things. I've seen
a lot of those, yeah.
And it's like, well, damn, am I supposed to be a teacher like 24/7? There's a teacher that just got fired from her job because she's actually a rapper. But it's like
in Detroit. Was it Detroit? No, it was like no, I think it was in the South somewhere.
Okay.
I saw that though.
Yeah. And it's like, but so what? Like, you let your kids listen to X, Y, and Z. Like, what? As long as I'm not doing that here, why does it matter?
Exactly.
Like any other
And if you
job,
monitor your children, they shouldn't be able to even access whatever she's doing. Because I know I had big monitoring. I was a sneaker to find different stuff. But...
You remember like those like websites that you can like use a different browser? I used to do that.
We figured it out. But nowadays, I feel like kids are even smarter than what we were.
Oh yeah, for sure.
They are. You could take their whole phone and everything. They'll find a way.
I don't know.
Scared of y'all.
I'm pretty sure we'll figure it out though. I mean, I don't think I'm going to be as out of touch as my mom was because she was so much older. But hell, I'm moving into my 30s. And shit, I don't have no kids, so I might be just like her.
You just gotta stay on it.
Right. Okay, so you've kind of been hinting in your videos of you making like this transition, and you kind of said that already. Yes. So my question is, are you thinking about leaving us on YouTube? Because who gonna watch?
I am very conflicted because although I do want to move, and like I said, I don't want to say it yet until it happens. Okay. I'm very spiritual and prayerful about this. But the goal was, in order to make that move, it's a whole lifestyle change. So I wanted to get into a salary position. You know, I've been on YouTube for so long. I do have a college degree. I can really be an asset to somebody's business, especially in the media, social media, marketing aspect. And I'm like, I worked hard for it, so why not? But the job market and the job search is at 0 out of 10. It is so hard. I've gotten so many more rejections than even, hey, let's just take you in for an interview. So I think that kind of set me straight on, okay, stick with what you've been working on for the last 10 years, which is your YouTube channel. Find a happy medium, still make a move. And eventually, if the time is right and God says that, hey, I want you to do this or this is more fulfilling, do so. But for right now, no, I do still plan on moving, but I don't think I'm going to stop YouTube. Okay. I think eventually I will veer off of it if I can bring a different job or occupation and it makes more sense.
Okay. So let's say YouTube started doing what it was supposed to do. Would you still reconsider making the career change? Or would you?
That's a good one. I think it would just come down to real deal, honestly, finances. Okay. Because with this move, I've been living at home with my parents for over a year. Now we got real bills that's about to come up. So it just comes up to finances. The one thing that, like, I think my dream job is really just to be my own business owner, especially with my modeling agency. That is like people don't really know deep down to like how passionate I am about it. And I've been kind of playing around with how to make it lucrative, how to get grants, how to get funding, support, space, everything. And where I'm going, I think it'll be perfect for it. Yes. And I think if that takes off, then yeah, YouTube will get the back burner. But until then, I'm going to just stick with YouTube. Okay. And if YouTube starts doing what it's supposed to do, somehow I will mesh the two together. Because I feel like with the modeling agency for Black women and just all the ideas I have, it kind of relies on the media and social media and just having like brand presence. So I think it'll fit in. Okay. Yeah.
So do you feel like if you do continue YouTube, do you feel like there's anything you want to do differently within your brand?
As of now? I definitely just kind of want to expand the visual aspects, like when I move, have a setup and all that.
So you're going to be on camera more?
More on camera.
All right. So we're going to switch gears. Okay. A little bit. Just a little.
Just a little bit.
Your love life.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so she got a boo, and she actually is showing her boo.
Just a little bit.
Just a little tiny bit. No, it's so funny because when you talk about like your relationship experiences a lot in like your video. So what makes this different?
Yeah. I think I went into this with like a lot more intention, and that is the one thing I would tell any woman. Like, if you have standards, just maintain them because somebody's going to meet them. And I do think I was a little bit of a hard ass in the beginning. Like, if you ain't doing this, this, and this, and this, if you don't do this by this, then I'm walking. And I feel like my boyfriend is very masculine, so he didn't just bow down and be like, yes, ma'am. But because he was also intentional with what he wanted and it was matching, then it just started working. Okay. Not to say everything is always perfect, but because we are long distance, so that, has its own thing. But I think I was just very intentional, whereas before, I don't think I had the right reasons for dating a lot of different people, especially in college. I just kind of feel like you may see relationships and now you're like, oh, I want that. So not any random person, but like I'll bypass a lot of stuff and look past red flags in order to just say that you're with somebody or have something going on. Yeah. Or if you're always the single friend, like I was, especially in high school, it does get like frustrating. And I think you lose confidence in what you actually need to maintain a real relationship. And then, evidently you get with somebody and it ain't it.
Okay, so how did you guys meet?
Yeah, we met through a mutual friend. I was in college and I knew somebody that went to the rival school, which was BG, Bowling Green. And then my boyfriend, like I said, he plays football. And that person then transferred, hadn't seen him for years, ends up going to school with him.
Okay.
So after we kind of reconnected and he's just like, hey, I think you should come down to Atlanta because I got this going on, that going on. I was just like, I don't really want to go down there because I had a really bad experience in Atlanta before. So I just kind of took it off the radar for the longest. But he was just like, kind of kept begging me. And then one time he's like, I think you should talk to my friend. And I was just like, who your friend? Like, because I just talked to him and I was just like, okay. Because I messaged him and I'm like, okay. So I messaged him and he'll tell you this. I'm going to make sure because he's going to watch this. Yes, I did talk to you first. Yes, I did message you first. Yes, I did essentially shoot my shot first, but it was under direction of somebody else, but whatever. And then, I don't know, we just started talking. I ended up going to Atlanta for random. I was traveling a lot. We went on our first date. And I don't think I thought anything of it. He didn't think anything of it. But then we just started talking. And I think that night I was like, hey, I'll call you when I get in the house. He's like, okay. Called him. Never got off the phone since.
Oh.
We just never stopped talking.
That's a cute love story. I think we were kind of talking about, like, the difference.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. The difference for sure is, like I said, I went into this, like, very intentional. And like I said in the beginning, I was very, like, demanding and probably did way too much. Thank you, babe, for sticking it out with me. But I was just like, I want this, I need this, and if you don't do this by this time, like, it's done. It's like, I'm not going to talk to you. And I was like very much serious at the same time, although it was a little like, okay, chill, relax. But just because I feel like in the past I was not intentional, I was probably being with people for the sake of, like, just because I'm the single friends or, desperation or I'm bored or, I think this is what I want or need to look like I'm doing something. And I think also with being a YouTuber, like, I was on YouTube around, like, the couples era. And, like, the couples vlog and pranks and challenges. And I feel like there was kind of like, as an influencer who did vlogs, there was kind of an expectation for you to have a relationship. I'm not going to lie. Because when I think about it, everybody I was watching was definitely in a relationship of some sort. And I think, like, that kind of led me astray in, like, what to look for. I also did not date in high school. Like, I had, like, I think I'm talking to this person, but I didn't, like, date in high school. I never had nothing serious up until, I would say, this relationship. Wow. Everybody else, I never knew you. I never knew you. You don't exist to me. But I just didn't have, like, no guidance on, like, what to look for. So just after going through all the ups and downs and heartbreaks and crying and all that different stuff, I realized, like, what I wanted, and I was very intentional. And like I said, it was kind of, like, probably too much at first. I think so for him. But because his intentions were also good and pure, we were able to match on that, and then here we are.
And that's good.
Yeah.
I feel like people don't get to see this side of you.
Definitely not, because I've always been like, I ain't telling nobody nothing. It's my business. Like, even I feel like when I was talking to different people, like, nobody would ever know. I think people probably think I've been single since forever. When I've had, like, not going to say relationships, like, I've dated or whatever, but I never felt confident or comfortable enough to just say, like, hey, this is my person. I pray that it all goes well. I pray that I get to the end of it all. But where we're at now, I'm confident enough to put it out there.
Oh, that's so
just
good.
a little bit.
Just
a little bit.
Y'all need to know everything.
Definitely not.
Okay. So my last question before we play this game is, since you're, like, the queen of, like, unpopular opinions, can you give me one?
I actually randomly just made a list. But I think from one of the ones, unpopular opinion, I feel like if you have some sort of schooling under your belt, maybe even a degree, to me, I do feel like the pay for whatever job you want should just automatically just be somewhat higher than if you don't. I just personally believe that. I actually have another one. This one might actually be a little bit more controversial, but I will be saying this in another video. I feel like if you're one of those moms, I know, here we go with the mom stuff, but if you're one of those moms that you have to put a filter, sticker, cover over your child's face, just don't post your child.
Just don't post it.
That's how I feel. I be seeing it all the time, like, we just don't want to show his face, then don't post him at all. Because If you want to do the mommy vlog, be a mommy vlogger. I'm not saying you have to show your child, but I just feel like don't post him at all. Because we're looking at a baby with a emoji over his face. No.
It's not aesthetically pleasing.
It's just not. And I just kind of feel like, part of me feels like it is a little bit attention seeking. Like, oh, let me create this mystery behind what my child looks like under the guise of privacy. But if you were really that private, you wouldn't post your child at all. So just don't.
So what about like a picture of the child, but it's just the back of their head?
I don't think that's the problem, but if you have to full-blown cover their features, like you had to put some effort into preventing his or her identity, I just think that's a little bit much. I don't plan on posting my children when I have children until they're of a certain age, just because I know it comes with the internet, and I do not want to subject them to that. But and people might hate me and want to take it out on them, so
yeah.
But I just wouldn't post at all. Like, I'm not gonna half-ass it.
Oh, that's right. Okay, and a popular opinion for me,
yes,
this is like so goofy, but
I hear it.
I don't think that you should be able to throw up like on video,
like actual,
like dead ass. Like I don't think that you should be able to like vomit
on video,
like
when people vlog or like just in general,
or like movies. You can't shit. You know what I'm saying? Or so like I really feel like you shouldn't be able to vomit.
That is gruesome. No, because that actually makes it less. It's gory. Well, it's not gory, but it's like gruesome.
Yeah.
So
like, you gotta prep me for that. I'm actually afraid of vomit. So that's
I've heard that. Are you good with blood or no?
Yeah.
Okay, because I've seen people pass out when they see blood.
Yeah, no, it's not that. But like vomiting, I don't know what it is.
It's the sound.
Like,
it's the sounds. I get what you mean, because when I watch a movie or something like that, I kind of skip past those parts.
Yeah, like I don't want to see that.
I'm a little weak stomached with certain things in movies. I don't like anything that requires like extreme stabbings, pokings. I will not watch it.
Okay. Yeah,
I can't do Edward Scissorhands. Any of that, I don't want to see it. I don't know what it is, but it just makes my body go numb.
Oh.
I don't know. I just don't like. My boyfriend and I watched Bad Boys 4, and there was a part where like they showed like his fingernails getting ripped off. I was like, I can't watch that.
Wow.
He was like,
wait, why were his fingernails getting ripped?
He was like going through some type of punishment for something. This is like one of the villains in the story. Like, he was showing like why he was the bad guy, and I was like, no. My boyfriend's just like,
like, oh. Yeah,
but they said that's like the most pain that you can feel at all, like just as a human being, that you can live through is getting your fingernail ripped off.
Oh, well, I'll probably just die.
Yeah, me too.
Okay, so we're going to play one last game.
Okay.
And this one is on brand for you.
Okay.
This game is called No Because No.
Ah, I love it already.
All right. These are things that we are leaving in 2024.
Okay. I would definitely say it's like a specific, I don't know if it's Fashion Nova, but it's a specific bodycon jumpsuit, lacy, something. I think I'm going to have to send you the picture.
Okay.
I've seen it too much. Let's leave that. We should have left it in 2023, but I've seen it again. Let's please leave that in 2024.
I thought you were going to talk about like the skirts because you don't want to see booty cheeks.
That too. I've actually seen people just wearing full-blown panties outside. I hope we could leave that in 2024. I just saw one another day. She wanted to do like a lotto type outfit. It didn't give lotto. It didn't give lotto.
Wait, just like panties?
It was that bad. It was literally cheetah print panties with a "I'm really her" t-shirt. I saw it on Twitter, and I was just like, what has this world come to?
Panties?
Cheetah print panties. We could leave that in 2024.
You got it? Yeah.
I'm trying to think.
Hold on, wait. Who? Why?
I want to see if I can even find it. Because I saw it and I was just like, there's just no way.
Mm-mm.
I want to know if it was sent to me on Twitter or if, let me see, because I know I saw it and I was like, I sent it to my boyfriend. I said, can you believe this?
I am weak. I'm trying to think of anything that I feel like we need to leave in 2024. Like, I know that I'm doing a video, but I haven't made that list yet. What is one thing that really pissed me off? Well, I guess we're leaving. Did you find it?
I'll find it later.
Okay.
I can find it.
I think, I mean, it's unfortunate, but we're leaving Biden in 2024.
We are leaving Biden.
Yeah, I mean,
Speaking of election, do you know a brand did not want to work with me because I made an election video where I stayed neutral. I didn't even say anything about who I voted for. I just kind of listed like the facts of like, this is why people didn't like Trump. This is why people didn't like Kamala Harris. And they were like, yeah, your channel's political. I'm like, no, it's not.
Yeah,
But
okay, that's interesting because I actually did a couple of different campaigns in regards to voting. But like our stuff is different, I guess.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
You kind of get like cool brand deals. Like
with that,
got, like, Scentberg and stuff.
Yeah, Dossier is my main one. They've been like with me. It's about to be a year. This is my longest like long-term sponsor. I think, I mean, I can see because I just got referred to an agency and I'm like, I have been so standoffish on it, on the agencies because I didn't know if there was like a catch or anything. Like obviously you still sort of kind of split something with them. But I think they have more to give. So I'm just doing a tester right now for the next like few months to see.
Because I definitely want to move in that direction.
Yeah.
One, I'm tired of reaching out myself. A lot of people don't know this, but y'all, a lot of the brand deals I get is because I reach out to people. Like,
but you can also do a video on that. I think that would really go crazy on YouTube because a lot of people are looking for that. Yeah. Because a lot of times I feel like brand deals are people's bread and butter of their brand. So just to keep it afloat. I
guess since I have been in this game for like 10 years and I don't have the numbers that you would think, I'm just kind of using that as my storyline because I think it's good. Make the money that like, you know, people make on this. So like, yeah, but it's not easy.
It's definitely not.
To go to an agency. Like I've never been in like a long contract with a brand. Like the most has been like a couple of months.
This will be
like filming
content. I'll see because this is like my first month, so I'm just like, all right, we'll see where this goes because this is something I've been avoiding just because of I guess apprehension and you know paranoia. But I'm like, let me give it a go. It's just gonna be a trial, and they even understand it's a trial. So if all goes well, I'm gonna be like, okay.
Well, thank you so much for coming.
Thank you.
Prince clearly is like
he's literally trying to get up here. Hi, baby. I like you too.
Yes, thank you again so much.
Thanks for having me.
Until next time, y'all. Because remember, we all.
Okay, just come on.
He didn't make it. I promise you, my dog got hot. Okay. But make sure you like, comment, share, subscribe because we always have a lot to unpack here. Until next time.
Bye, everyone. Thank you.